Welcome to Greater Verde Valley Chamber Chat, the show that brings the heartbeat of the Verde Valley straight to your screen. Each episode covers timely local topics, highlights upcoming community events, and showcases the small businesses that make this region shine. Viewers will hear directly from local business owners and community leaders who are shaping the future of the Verde Valley. It's all about supporting local, staying informed, and strengthening our shared community. Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce, helping businesses grow today to create a stronger tomorrow. And now, here's our host, President and CEO of the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce, Christian Oliva Del Rio.
Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio. I'm the President and CEO for the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. And with me today, I have a very good friend of mine, Rhonda Bishop, is the Executive Director for the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with me.
Glad to be here.
It's pretty cool that we both serve on each other's boards and are able to work with each other and keep things going.
Yep.
So Rhonda, I always like to start out with, getting to know you a little bit more. And I'd love for you to share, give me a little bit of your history. How long have you been in the Verde Valley?
My mom has lived here, my grandparents bought land here in the 1950s.
Oh, wow.
So we have been lifelong Verde Valley residents. Did have a brief stay in Washington State, but came back here, graduated from high school in Arizona, and my background is the Verde Valley. This is my home. It's where I've raised my children, and it's where we are going to retire.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful area, and I really love our community. There's so much that people give back, and really care, and so knowing a lot of your work history, you've always been involved in taking care of the community and helping people, right?
Yes. For a long while, I worked at a business in Camp Verde. I ran a couple tow truck companies. I've managed that, and I've spent time in behavioral health, mental health, recovery, and things like that. Right. So while my background has always been for-profit businesses, I definitely have been involved in my community, and I've been here. My daughter became involved with the chamber, which is how I got to know you many years, 10 years ago. Yeah. And so I've always known that the chamber does good work, and I was excited to be involved in anything you guys are involved in.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Andrea has been an amazing asset for the chamber, and really connecting us. So it's been cool.
Yes, it has been.
She's my girl too. So what kind of drove you then to working for the coalition and being involved?
Pandemic, very honestly, pandemic. I found myself without work, and I don't like that feeling, and so I took a really hard look at my finances and said, I can afford to pay to go where they're paying me. So I hired in as an executive assistant, and as fate would have it, some changes were involved, and the president of our board at the time, Carol, came to me and she said, I need you to keep the doors open. And I said, okay, but I don't know what I don't know, so I need help.
And like jumping in with both feet, right?
Yeah, I did. And, I learned really quickly that the for-profit world is largely the same as the nonprofit world. It just where your money goes.
You're running a business.
It's still a business.
Yes, exactly.
And knowing that and embracing that idea, we've really made the past 5 years work.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
It has been.
I can't even remember how long it has been now that I've been on the board, but pretty close.
I think 2021, I nominated you to join our board.
We have come such a long way.
We really have.
I share some of the really cool stuff that we've accomplished.
When I started, we were open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 1 to 5. Yeah. I wanted to open 7 days a week because what I saw were not the homeless, they were people.
Yeah.
And when you talk to them and get to know their story, what incredible stories of resilience and heartache and suffering, and that they're still here. And I really felt like we needed to be open that 7 days. So my first major hire was to hire somebody to come in and help me, because at the time that I started, I was the only employee, and I mopped the floors and cleaned the bathroom, made sure that we served food when we had it, and took everybody in and talked to them about what their future plans were, how I could help them. And I started with that role.
Right.
And even though I was trying to keep the doors open,
Yeah.
we wrote a grant, a COVID-related grant that allowed us to hire people, and we started putting a sprinkler system in because that was our barrier for not being able to have an emergency overnight shelter.
Right.
Thanks to some amazing community donors, I could name several of their names. I still know them,
Yeah.
and we are in contact. But they helped raise the funds for the large amount it cost us to get sprinklers in.
Right.
And so in June of 21, we opened 7 days a week, and it was a blessing for so many people.
Right.
And then in October of 21, we also opened as the first emergency shelter on this side of Yavapai County.
Yeah.
And there is another in western Yavapai in Prescott, but we are the first one on the east side.
Right.
And we still are the only one.
We're still, yeah. And you know, we are called the Verde Valley.
We are.
Right?
We
and
are.
So, and it's the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition, so we serve a lot of different communities, right?
That's been my dream, is to make sure that we have representation in every community, because homelessness is not an issue isolated to Cottonwood or to Camp Verde
Right.
or to Sedona or to Flagstaff. It is something that affects us all. And homelessness is not what we think about in our minds. It actually looks quite different. And hearing the stories and everything has been life-changing for me.
Right. Well, you know, I was going to ask you, well, why do you do what you do?
You know, I remember vividly, like maybe my second week on the job, I was leaving on Friday, and these two people who had come and volunteer, they were homeless, living in a tent. They would volunteer, and they came in every day to see if I needed the garbage taken out, which is kind of
Right.
heavy sometimes. So yeah, they were a big help.
Yeah.
And as we were leaving, all of us leaving at 5, I said, "Okay, my friends, I will see you on Monday." And as I was getting in my car, she said, "Did you hear that? She called us her friend."
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking that they haven't been called a friend in so long that it was significant in their lives.
Yeah.
And I realized that I can make a change through just saying a nice word.
Just being human?
Just being human. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't start crying on it.
I will. Oh my gosh. I realized I forgot my tissue.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a really quick
Okay.
break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit
course.
more about the shelter. Thank you. We'll see you in just a minute.
Think you can handle a few drinks and still drive safely? Think again. Buzzed driving is drunk driving, and drunk driving can land you in serious trouble. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving. Even one drink can cost you thousands in fines and legal fees. Plus, take away your driver's license. So plan ahead. Use a designated driver or rideshare. Get the facts at drivesober.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Lost your health insurance? There are options to help you stay covered. Choices include Medicaid, individual and family, Medicare, and group plans. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona is a local nonprofit health insurance company that can help you understand your options, no matter who you choose. Stay covered, Arizona. We've got your back. This message is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona.
Welcome back to Chamber Chat. Again, I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio with the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce, and with me again is Rhonda Bishop. She's the Executive Director for the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition. And Rhonda, you do amazing work over there, and I'm grateful. You know, like you said just before the break, you know, it's really about just being human and understanding, right? So, you know, what might the public not know about the shelter and homelessness?
The shelter in particular, we have rules. It's clean. It is as much of a home environment as a warehouse can be made to look. We have a living room area where we have couches and we have a TV, and my manager, he gave his log on for his Disney, so we have Disney.
Oh, right.
You know, I mean, our employees have really tried to make it a good, comfortable
Right.
spot. We have a dining area where we all sit at the table to eat.
Sure.
We don't eat on the couch. The people that stay there mop the floors and clean the bathrooms, and
Truly care
they
about
take
their environment.
they
and-
do,
Right.
and most of them refer to this as home because right now it is the
It's-
home that they have. And so I think that's what most misconception is that there's a giant warehouse with bunk beds and people are in there stacked like cordwood. That's not how our shelter is.
Right.
It's neat and tidy and it's
Try to
clean.
make it a community. Try to make it a part of
Right.
the community.
Because we have rules, we want to make sure everybody feels safe, because I've had people as old as 83 was my oldest
Right.
client, and 18 was my youngest.
Yeah.
So I have people of all ages and racial backgrounds, and I want every single one of them to feel safe.
Right.
And so that's the number one. You have to make sure that you are being safe. When you become
Following the
safe,
rules
we
and
have to
taking care
have
of-
we
right.
have to have a conversation.
Right.
The other one is that people are just there being lazy. That is not necessarily true. We have, at this point in time, at least 50% of our people either have an income through Social Security or earned income from a job or some other endeavor. We don't have the huge unemployment. There is large unemployment,
Sure.
but it's not as people think it is. And what people don't recognize is somebody may be currently experiencing homelessness. That looks like sleeping on somebody's couch or in somebody else's spare bedroom. It includes staying at a hotel, in an RV, or in a travel trailer.
Yeah.
It also includes the people that don't have a place to live and are living out of their car
Right.
or are living at a shelter.
Right.
So most of us are not in a position that we would be comfortable saying, yeah, I could be out of work for 6 months.
No.
We're just not.
I'm not, and
I'm not.
and I have a good job.
Right,
You know,
right.
I'm actually living in a hotel because of some personal problems that have come up in my life.
And
you know?
that's
like you
how
said,
quickly your life can change.
Yeah.
And that's what people aren't realizing is it isn't through any fault of their own. A lot of
Right.
people, what we're seeing alarmingly fast in our area, when I learned today through a different meeting that in Yavapai County at large,
Yeah.
and the state of Arizona, older people are getting priced out of their homes. For instance, they might have been renters their whole life,
Sure.
and their
Yeah.
owner has
Sold
raised their
it
rent or sold.
Right. Right.
The other one is that they own their house, but they can't afford the taxes and the insurance because those have gone up exponentially. I looked at my tax bill for this coming year, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
know that there are many, especially older Americans, who are not able to pay those simple things on their fixed income, and they are becoming displaced. So there is no cookie cutter that you can say this is homelessness,
Right.
because it can happen to any of us.
I know friends that are a paycheck away
Correct.
from that possibility in
Correct.
reality. So it just because it just popped in my head. But look, we've talked about the potential for a safe place to park in Sedona, right? These are people that have jobs and they're having to live in their car.
Right.
Why can't we provide them with a safe space?
Right.
Right.
Right. I think safe parking programs are certainly an option. I mean, there's all kinds of options that we can discuss, and I could go on and on about it,
Yeah.
but unfortunately we are
No,
on a time
we
period.
we are on the time schedule here, but so what would be some of the biggest needs that you think at the shelter? What if somebody wants to donate? Or whatever,
This
right?
time
These
of
kind
year,
things?
we're gearing up for it to be cold weather.
Yeah.
And yes, it's nice and it's beautiful right now, but if you're sleeping outside, it's actually not that warm in the
And it
mornings.
gets cold,
It's a little
I
chilly,
know. Yeah.
especially if you live near the water. So warm jackets, sweaters, waterproof anything.
Socks?
Please don't bring socks.
No, you
please,
got plenty
please.
of socks.
We are partners with Bomba's Sock
Oh,
Company.
perfect.
They just sent us
Yeah.
another 5,000
Sweet.
pair.
All right.
So,
That's great.
and you would be surprised how many connections come through a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Because I had a man ask me at Fry's, do you guys have socks? And I said, well, yes, we do. Come on down. I don't have any in my car, but come on down. And he did show up for a pair of socks.
That's great.
He didn't stay long, but it was a connection that we made. And so maybe we can make a difference someday in his life. So yes, Bomba's Sock Company, we love them, and they take care of us every year, and we have no need for socks. But
Right.
what we do have need for right now is jackets, coats. When it's cold and we have no room at the shelter, we try to give people a couple blankets because it gets cold.
Yeah.
And we're unfortunately in that unique area of Arizona where it's very hot and it gets very cold at night.
Right.
So we always need blankets and those kind of things. Something simple. We get donated food. People can donate food if they want to bring in a meal, if they want to make sandwiches and bring them in. We do have that.
Right.
If one of the silliest things that you'd never think of is salt.
Right.
If you're at the store and you want to buy me a box of salt or a little bag of sugar for their
Yeah,
coffee in the morning.
right.
Something as simple as that can help immensely
It's all
make
the-
their day more comfortable.
All the creature comforts that
Right.
we don't even think about.
That we
right?
don't even think about.
Yeah.
Dish soap to wash their dishes because
Yeah.
we use real dishes, and laundry soap because we do launder the blankets.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so, those kind of things really help us out because those are expenses that we can then put elsewhere.
So is there a list or something online that people can go visit?
We don't have a list online, but they can always contact me,
Okay.
contact the shelter, give the shelter a call and say, hey, here's my email, because that's the quickest way for me to get ones over to you.
Sure.
If you have an organization that there's a head of an organization, which we have a couple faith-based organizations, that every 2 times a year I just shoot them a new list.
Oh, wow,
This is
yeah.
what we could
That's
use
great.
at this time of year. And so, yeah, that's the fastest way for me to get that information to someone.
Great. All right, well, we're going to take another quick break.
Of course.
And then when we come back, we're going to talk about an amazing event that we have
Yes,
coming up.
I'm excited.
All right, folks, you come on back.
Before you hand over the keys, talk to your teen about making safe choices behind the wheel. Crashes are a leading cause of death for teens ages 15 to 18. The rules are simple: no speeding, no distractions, no impaired driving, and always wear a seatbelt. Remind your teen, an accident can happen in an instant. Their life and their friends' lives are at stake. Drive like lives depend on it, because they do. Learn more at teendriving.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Employers, unsafe trenching work can be deadly. It's your responsibility to follow safety guidelines and protect your crews. Make sure proper trenching safety measures are in place before any work begins, because at the end of the day, every worker deserves to go home. For guidance or questions about trenching safety compliance, call ADOSH for a free confidential consultation. Visit azica.gov or call toll-free at 855-268-5251. That's azica.gov. Protect your team. Follow trenching safety. Sponsored by the Industrial Commission of Arizona.
All right, welcome back. I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio with Chamber Chat with the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce. And again, with me, thank you, Rhonda, for being here and teaching me so much. There's always something new that I'm learning about the great work you're doing at the coalition.
Yes.
So appreciate it. So we talked a little bit about, some of the biggest needs, but we've come a long way over the last
Yeah.
few years. And so what would you say some of the latest projects and or initiatives, things that we want to do moving forward? And
Right.
Okay,
So
good.
after we became an emergency overnight shelter, we really wanted to focus on transitional housing because that is a bridge between
Yeah.
permanent housing and a shelter life. And shelter life is difficult. They sleep on cots. They have to gather up their things every day. And we wanted to have them more of a permanent place to live. So thanks to a couple volunteers, board members, who really carried the brunt of writing a community development block grant,
Yeah.
which gave us the funding, and of course the city of Cottonwood for working with us through that whole process. So it gave us the funding to purchase the property we're on, so we don't have an outstanding mortgage or rent payment.
That's huge.
And it's huge, and that we could also have the money to build a transitional housing facility. So that is just it's a house. It has a kitchen, it has a living room, it has a small dining area,
Yeah.
and it has 6 individual bedrooms. Each bedroom has a locking door to the inside and the outside of the
Right.
house. It is completely handicap accessible, so we could have somebody there that uses a wheelchair.
State of the
or
art,
it
right.
is.
It's very
It is
modern.
beautiful.
Brand new, yeah.
I took great pride in choosing colors and in seeing to every detail, just like it was my own, because it is something
Yeah.
that I am very proud of us for.
Goes back to what you do and why
Yes.
you do it.
So it's beautiful, and of course we will be having a open house coming up, but we'll talk a little bit about.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, unfortunately, I think it was 2022, we had an unfortunate fire that destroyed our warehouse
Yeah,
building.
Right.
And so many of the people see this big blue-gray building that
Yeah.
is actually currently not utilized, and it is set for demolition. But out of the ashes, so to speak, we
Sure.
really are hoping. What I want to do is have a business that focuses on job training
Right.
and job retraining, because in some cases we have women that are coming out of being a primary stay-at-home parent, and they don't know. They don't really have any marketable
Work
job
skills,
skills.
yeah, right.
So training people to do jobs in the community that then they become employable, and now they become a productive member of society, so to speak. But just something that can give people a sense of pride and that they can do well.
It's huge.
Because I know that sometimes people fall through the cracks in education and in a mentorship,
Right.
and they may not have skills.
Yeah.
And so that's what a future business we're hoping can do for us. The same as what transitional housing does for somebody coming out of the shelter. It gives
Right.
them skills that they can then carry on to, like, I need to save money for my electric bill coming
Right.
up. I need to save money for the gas that I'm going to use this month,
Right.
or whatever the
Pay
circumstance
my
may
rent,
be.
right?
Pay my rent on
So
time.
the people that are in the transition house do actually
They do.
pay their way.
That is one thing. They have to have an income in order
Right.
to qualify to go in there.
Yeah.
We do ask that they be registered with Catholic Charities. They go on a by name list. We try to utilize that resource through Catholic Charities, and they, of course, are a partner organization.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have a meeting with them later this afternoon. But we try to utilize all of the other communities. So if somebody were to call me from another organization and say, hey, I have this person that I really think could benefit from
Sure.
housing,
Yeah.
and we have the availability, we'll of course have an interview. But
Right.
yes, they do pay rent, and
Right.
that's timeliness of rent, and all of that is key to making sure you're successful in your future.
Yeah. I love the whole concept of, and I'm hoping that's an area that we'll be able to accomplish, and I think we can, because we've got a pretty mighty board
Yes,
that is,
we do.
is committed. So, but just like you said, the job skills and being able to run a business that is also giving back to the community,
Exactly.
right? And provide a service.
Exactly.
We haven't quite decided what we want to do, but
Exact-
we've got
yep.
a few ideas.
We've got some ideas, and we're really taking inspiration from a lot of community
Yeah.
people out there too, because we've had a lot of feedback and a lot of input. And I actually just had somebody talk to me about it recently, that they'd heard me last year talking about, this is kind of what I was thinking in my
Yeah,
mind.
right, right.
And did you make any headway on that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, no, but it's okay.
I know we've
It's
heard
okay.
everything from a laundromat to a
Yep,
cafe,
yep,
or
yep. We've heard it all. So we're in a great location,
Sure.
and but once again, these are all future plans. Our transitional house is up and running and successful. We've actually transitioned 4 people
Yeah.
safely into permanent housing now,
amazing.
and we've been open just over a year with
I
our
know.
transitional.
Isn't that incredible?
It is.
All right.
It
So
is.
can you tell us a little bit, so what is the process then for somebody if they're interested or in need?
They have to currently be living without a house. They have to have a job or an income. They, if they utilize our shelter, we do want to know that they are going to take pride in what we've built.
Right.
And if they are on a fixed income, we also ask that they volunteer in the community several hours a week,
Yeah.
because it's important that you are part of and involved in the community that has given so much to
Sure.
you.
Right.
And so that's through working or through volunteerism. That's how we want to foster that in
Right.
people. It's like,
Right.
this community gave to me, so I'm
Yeah.
giving back to my community.
Right. Yeah. That's great. So we talked a little bit about biggest needs for the shelter and our clients and our customers, but what about the organization? It's always
Anybody-
comes down to, right?
Anybody want to volunteer to do social media? I
Yeah.
I would love that.
Right. That would be
Right.
great.
It would be.
Really, if that's something that you can do, they can come back and give
Exactly.
back, right?
Exactly.
And help out. In that
Yes,
way, but, yeah.
yes.
But-
So, of course, financials, we're a 501c3. I mean,
Right.
financially, we can always use support. Unfortunately, grant funding is sparse at this point in time, and that's okay, because we have a board that's determined, and I am determined, my staff is determined,
Yeah.
that we're going to continue operating as long as humanly possible,
Sure.
because we are needed in this community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
So then, bringing that back around. So what we've decided we're going to
Yep.
do, right, is this amazing event coming up on November 1st. Where are you? I lost you. Walk a mile in my shoes. And
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about this event and what prompted it, what inspired it.
I'm inspired every day by people who are making the most of a really bad situation. They're living at a shelter. They're looking for work. It's not easy to stay clean. It's not easy to wash your clothes. Life isn't easy. And so we had a man who, unfortunately, had been looking for a long time. When people tell me, well, they should just get jobs, it's not always that easy.
Right.
And so this man applied for job after job that he did not get. He finally did get a job, and it was last fall. And he decided to accept this job. He talked to us because he was living at the shelter, which we are open for overnight. During the morning time, we're not really open.
Yeah.
It was an overnight position.
Yeah.
And I actually talked to him about the struggle to go at night to his job.
Right.
Well, it's actually 2.4 miles to his job,
Right.
where he is on his feet all night long.
Right.
And walking home,
Right.
if he can catch the bus, he would, but not always because he's trying to
Gives the
save money.
schedule, Right.
And he was one of the first people we moved into our transitional housing when it was finally open, because he was doing it. He was walking 2.4 miles every night to work.
Yeah.
That inspired me so much that when we talked about a fundraiser, do we want to do a hike? Do we want to do something? I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
this is what inspires
Just
me
give
about
you-
walking.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know, from where you live, would you want to walk to your work every day?
No.
It's not 2.4 miles either.
No, it's not.
It-
It's a
right?
lot shorter, and it'd be difficult.
Like, you wouldn't want to
Raining,
do that when
whatever.
it's raining, when it's
Every-
cold,
yeah.
when it's hot.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah.
coming home and it's hot and you're tired and you've been on your
Right.
feet all day.
Right.
So that's what was the real inspiration
Mm-hmm.
behind this is just that individual who I saw what an impact using the shelter,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd come home from every disappointing interview and we'd be like, good job, you're doing great.
Right.
And sometimes somebody that is experiencing homelessness needs is a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can be a cheerleader, and
Right.
it helped propel him. He's now in permanent housing and
Yeah.
doing exextremely well. I'm
That's
hoping
great.
he'll be at our event on the 1st.
Sure.
But yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
So Saturday, November 1st,
Yep.
we have 8:30 check-in time. So you can actually register to walk in this event.
Correct.
Right? And so you can register at vvhcwalk.com.
Yes.
Registration is,
So registration is $50 per walker.
right?
The reason that we're charging a registration fee is because we do have wonderful sponsors, Manhattan and Route 89
Right.
A, and they are going to be giving each walker who registers a hat and a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's a place for you to indicate what size shirt you want,
Right.
and you'll come out and show your support for the shelter. We also are going to have a selection of used shoes, because
Yeah.
the fact is people don't really think about the shoes they're donating to a place like a homeless shelter, and if you think about walking in those shoes, I
The reason
encourage
you're
people.
getting rid of them, and you
Right.
have the luxury of being able to. But
We're
think about that.
we're
Right.
sanitizing the shoes, and
Yeah.
if you would like to walk in somebody else's shoes to know
Right.
what it's like for a mile,
Right.
we heavily encourage it.
Yeah.
Not mandatory,
No, right.
but just thinking about that, shoving your
Right.
foot into a shoe that's too small because that's all you have.
Yeah.
And I have a man with size 13 feet, and he's had to
Oh,
do that
no.
several times.
Wow.
And we
Yeah.
try our best for flip flops,
Right.
but.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
we're going to have shoes there because I think it's important.
be-
Yeah.
It's going to be a great event.
It is.
And so the walk actually begins at 9 a.m. We're going to
Correct.
have a short little, it's a half mile down, half mile up on 10th Street there, down to the jail trail area.
Correct.
And back to the shelter. And
Yes.
we'll be doing an open house as well, so you can tour. And
You can see
right?
what the homeless shelter really looks like.
Right.
It's just a big old room. People
Yeah.
sit around watching TV and eating something,
Yeah.
and maybe just talking to the staff.
Right.
And we welcome each one of them. We know all their names. We know their dogs' names. And you can see what that looks like. We're also going to have the transitional house
Right.
open, so
Yeah.
people can tour it as
Amazing.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
So name a couple of our other supporters
Yes,
and
well,
sponsors. And
Yavapai Broadcasting will be there with
Right.
the live remote,
That's
which
great.
they're actually taking charge of, when I appreciate them so much for that. And then there will be parking available, because if you've ever
Yeah.
been to our shelter, not much parking.
Right.
So Damien over at Steps to Recovery Homes has
Right.
offered his parking lot, so we can use that parking lot. There will be board members and various other people there to make sure that everyone gets across
Yeah.
the street safely. And yes, down the road from us, there is construction, but it will be easy to
It'll be
navigate.
fine. Right,
Yes.
right. All right. Well, so we're having to wrap it up
Yes.
here, and again, just want to thank everybody that's donating to this event. Remember, register. this is a fundraiser, and so that's why, we're charging $50, but you,
Yes.
again, are getting a really cool looking hat with the logo and everything on it and the t-shirt. And you can register at vbhcwalk.com, and you can also find out more information on the Chamber's website
Chamber's
as well
website.
as the Coalition's
Yes,
website.
correct.
So, all right. Well, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
I sure do appreciate it.
It was good being here.
Looking forward to seeing you at this event.
Yes.
And I'm sure I will see you before.
I'm sure.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Chamber Chat.
Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Greater Verde Valley Chamber Chat, the show that brings the heartbeat of the Verde Valley straight to your screen. Thank you to our host, President and CEO of the Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce, Christian Oliva Del Rio. Tune in next time to stay up to date on timely local topics, learn about upcoming community events, and the small businesses that make this region shine. It's all about supporting locals, staying informed, and strengthening our shared community. Greater Verde Valley Chamber of Commerce, helping businesses grow today to create a stronger tomorrow.